So today is going to be a very exciting day for me because today I'm making a video about something that I've wanted to talk to you guys for a very long time, and that is about my favorite film of all time. So for those who have been following me on my channel and my previous videos, you'll know that The Shawshank Redemption is my favorite film of all time, and today I'm going to talk about it. So yeah, this movie, in my opinion, is perfect. The writing is perfect, the acting is perfect, the shots and cinematography are all perfect. I'll go talk about them, but firstly I just want to warn you all, there will be spoilers in this video. This is a spoiler filled video. So if you haven't watched the movie, go watch it first. If you don't care about spoilers, then you can watch this video. So that's that. Now first, let's start with the background about this movie. So this movie came out in the year 1994. I've said this in my Ace Ventura Pet Detective review, where I consider 1994 to be the greatest year for movies. Here's why. Just look at the movies that came out that year. I mean, you had, of course, The Shawshank Redemption, you had Pulp Fiction, you had Forrest Gump, you had The Lion King, the original animated version, of course. You had Ace Ventura Pet Detective, and so many other great films that came out that year. And not only that, you can go look at the IMDb list. 3 of the films in the top 15 IMDb are all from 1994. Every other year you only have one movie. This Shawshank Redemption is also the highest rated film on IMDb as well. So yeah, originally this film was a flop. I'm not sure what the reason was. I think Morgan Freeman said something about the name. Thanks to it being the top 15 of IMDb, and not just top 15, number 1 on IMDb, more and more people have watched this movie and it's become more and more famous. So yeah, thank you IMDb. So here's the little plot of the movie. Andy Dufresne is found guilty for killing his wife as well as the man she was having an affair with. So he has to serve 2 life sentences back to back at Shawshank Prison, where we will see him for the rest of the movie. We are first in. Also, another interesting thing I find about great films like Shawshank Redemption as well as 7 Angry Men is that they're not taken in too many places. Like, you don't have to keep traveling to different. I see this a lot with a lot of modern day movies like Fast and Furious. They keep going to different locations. It's like, and I'm saying it's not necessary. You can make a great film in just a few locations. I mean, take 12 Angry Men for example. That film, except for the opening and the ending, was all taken in one room. The Shawshank Redemption, except for the opening and the coming close to the ending of the film, is all taken in one prison, like one area. So you don't need to keep making it in a lot of places. Like, you just need a few places to make a great film. We are first introduced to Shawshank Prison with this brilliant establishing shot where the camera, like the bus is going in, the Shawshank Prison is here, and the camera just moves in like this as a shot. Like, Roger Deakins is a genius cinematographer. Can we just give him credit for that? And then we get to see what kind of people these prisoners are, as they bet on cigarettes on who's going to break down first. Like, well, I mean, the person who broke down first got beaten up, and the next day you realize he's actually gone. Like, and the sad part is nobody knows his name. He's gone, and also it shows the kind of environment that these prisoners live in. I mean, the doctor wasn't there, the captain just beat the hell out of someone and that person just died, and it just shows the situation and the environment that these prisoners are stuck in. Another thing I really like is that most of the criminals they show in this movie are not your typical criminals that you see today. I mean, they don't have tattoos, they are not scary looking, they're not doing like some mischievous, they're not like beating people up or something. Like, the criminals here are really very nice, especially Brooks. I mean, remember when there's this Jake actually fell out of his nest? Brooks actually went to take care of him until he became old enough to take care of himself. These prisoners, most of them are really very nice, and this is not how typically criminals are being portrayed in movies nowadays. And that's just interesting to see. Like, that's just incredible story writing right there. Like, it's very unique from what I've seen before. And Red and his friends have been all very nice to Andy. When Andy got hurt by the very weird guys, basically the one of the few typical criminals where you see in movies and TVs, they actually helped him a lot. Like, they gave him a good welcome party. they literally gave him Rita Hayworth, which, by the way, the book that this movie was based on was called Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption. Rita Hayworth has a big role to play in this movie. I'll talk about it later. And yeah, Brooks was such an emotional character, and such an innocent character as well. I'll talk more about him later as well. Even the small moments in this movie are really well written here, like the rooftop scene where Haywood brought a beer to Andy, who was sitting all the way at the corner, and Andy said he's quit drinking. I mean, remember the beginning of the film where he was drinking and then he was found guilty of killing his wife and the person she was having an affair with, and here he quit drinking. That's great character development here, and that's such a small thing, but it's great character development. So even small sequences have great moments, and it's just no scene goes wasted here, and that's just really amazing. And Brooks, remember how I said let's talk about him later? Yeah, let's talk about him now. Brooks is such an emotional character. When he got his parole, you would think that he'll be happy and then because he can finally leave prison, but no, he actually wants to stay inside. I mean, he's been there for 50 years. To quote what Red said, he's been institutionalized. Like, in the prison, he's a very important person, but out there he's got nothing. Like, in prison he's got his friends there, but out there he's got nothing. And we see him suffer throughout the day. He even misses Jake and all his prison friends and his prison life. And right over there, like, you think that prison is the worst place ever, but for people who spend most of their life in prison, out there, not in prison, is actually going to be the worst place of their life. Like, and he couldn't take it anymore, and we all know the tragic end that his character came to, and that's just so emotional. I teared up for his character. It's just incredible writing. Like, you don't have to be a prisoner to feel bad for him. You can be somebody, like, maybe you miss your old school or the old place that you used to live in when you are new to this new place. So many, it's so relatable. These characters are just so relatable. This is such a greatly written drama. Usually Stephen King is known for his horror stories, but this is not his horror stories. This is one of his drama stories, and it's just really incredibly written. Andy, after befriending certain prisoners and things like that, he also forms good relations with the warden, the captain, and other officers who work there by helping them with their taxes and things like that. And then after that, Tommy comes in. Andy takes him in as a student, and from Tommy, Andy learns the truth about what happened to his wife, that he's actually innocent and things like that. And then he goes to tell the warden, and all went downhill from there. Like, the warden is not a really nice person, but throughout this entire time that the warden has been giving Andy some problems, Andy never gave up on hope. And that's such a big thing, such a huge theme in this movie. Hope. And not just hope, there are other great themes as well, like regrets from your past, growing old, coming to a new place that you're not familiar with and missing the old place that you were in once, and things like that, and not getting used to the new place. I mean, remember how in the earlier part of the film, Andy actually asks Red to get him a rock hammer. I think that was called the small hammer, basically. And then Red and the audience would think that it's a joke. And he also asked for Rita Hayworth as well. So we think he would be joking around, but we go one full circle, and then we see how Andy has been using that rock hammer and the poster to escape. So because he knows geology, so for 20 goddamn years he's been digging a hole. He never gave up on hope, and he finally escaped. And that scene when he escaped is the most iconic shot in cinema history, if not one of the greatest. I'm telling you right now. And another great scene that I would say is when Red and Andy were talking. This was after Andy got into trouble with basically Andy was sitting down against the wall and Red came in, and then you can look at the background. Red was on the light side and Andy was on the dark side, and then it shows that Red is trying to get Andy out of the darkness. And that is just such great cinematography. It is cinematography with storytelling, absolutely brilliant. It is still shocking to me how back then Roger Deakins never won the Oscar for this movie. It is just that mind-blowing to me. Like, how did he not win an Oscar for this? But then again, that year, so many great films came out, so there probably was tough competition and things like that. The movie all ends well with the warden shooting himself, the captain getting arrested, Reed after multiple times getting his parole, and then both of them, Reed and Andy, meet each other in the outside world. It's such a great ending. Something else I wanted to say is that throughout this film, we were blessed with Morgan Freeman's golden voice, basically the man who never ages. Can we appreciate that as well? And this movie was just perfection. It's perfect. The acting throughout the cast was phenomenal. I can't think of a single nitpick with this film. It is just that incredible. If you have not watched it, what are you doing with your life? Go and watch it. This is a must watch. Also, another thing I wanted to add on was Thomas Newman did an incredible musical score for this film. Incredible. This is my favorite film of all time. Definitely one of the greatest, if not the greatest film of all time. Thanks for watching this video. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and see you next time. And subscribe and like this video if you want to see more.